It's time for the Waiver Wire presented by YouTube TV. Here are a list of some guys you might want to consider off the waivers this week. Quarterbacks Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Sam Howell, and the mayonnaise-eating Will Levis. At running back, Cam Akers, Amari DiMercato back in our lives. Chuba Hubbard doing things down in Carolina. And time for you to buy a bus pass and get on the Gus bus with Gus Edwards. Moving over to the pass catchers at wide receiver. Keep saying it. Go get Josh Downs. KJ Osborne, Tank Dell back after the bye. Demario Douglas getting some run in New England. Jackson Smith and Jigba coming alive in Seattle. Quentin Johnston, especially with Josh Palmer leaving on Sunday night with an injury. At tight end, Taysom Hill, Trey McBride, Logan Thomas, and Fergalicious Jake Ferguson. Now welcoming in the man who writes our waiver wire column, I should say. I got the wrong show in my head. It's Matt Okada. You can check out the waiver wire article at NFL.com/waiverwire. Makes perfect sense. All right, Matt, we have 4 teams on a bye in week 9. The Bengals, the Jaguars, the Lions, and the 49ers. But the first guy we want to talk about is a guy who may not play this week and then is on a bye, but it's time to go stash Kyler Murray, right?
It is, yes, and we're maybe trending towards the possibility of him playing this week, barring some wild trade deadline hoopla, which basically never happens. But all the reports out of Arizona are that his recovery from the ACL injury, his practice participation this last week, and his performance in those practices are all encouraging. I think this might be your last opportunity to add him on the down low, maybe next week. But if you have that spot, slide him in there now, because when he does come back, I expect top-tier production. This is a guy who's averaged 20.4 fantasy points per game in his career. That would put him in the top 5 QBs this season. And a lot of that value does come from rushing yards. He averages about 40 per game. And rushing touchdowns, he has 23 in 4 seasons. So we will have to monitor how mobile he is coming off the injury, but I expect he will be fine. And by the way, he gets the Bears and the Eagles in the fantasy playoffs. So he's really a guy you'd like to have for the stretch.
Yeah, we all play in a league together, and I've been quarterback needy, so I've stashed Kyler Murray. I'm very excited for his return, but there's a whole bunch of teams now that are quarterback needy because of all the injuries, and Sam Howell just keeps getting the job done.
Yeah, if you're one of those guys who has Kirk Cousins, or you're one of those people who lost a guy or who has someone on bye this week, Sam Howell is the pickup for right now, assuming Kyler doesn't play. He had a down performance in week 7, was more dropped than added, despite me saying pick him up and string him against the Eagles. And surprise, surprise, career best 31 fantasy points, 397 yards, 4 touchdowns. The Eagles have been an oddly great matchup for fantasy QBs all year, so this was, I expected this to a degree, but honestly, I think we should be expecting good fantasy outputs from Howell regardless. He scored 18 plus in 5 of his last 7. He's a top 10 quarterback overall on the year, top 8 if you now remove Kirk Cousins. He's playing impressive, barring a few inconsistent spurts of, okay, that wasn't a smart move. And honestly, he has one of the more sneakily deep and impressive pass-catching groups in the league, and I think that it's helped him out. So I'd throw Howell in as a QB1 rest of season.
I mean, I don't know how he's doing it, but he's doing it every week, and he's doing it in different ways. So at some point, you can't really deny it. Amari DiMercato, right? We all said they'll pick him up a few weeks ago. Then they gave Keontae Ingram all these opportunities. But after that, it's been the DiMercato show down in Arizona.
It has been, and it really established itself this past weekend. The fantasy output does not look superb, which might push many people away from adding him or even lead some to drop him. But he dominated the team's carries. 20 carries, took him for 78 yards. He led the team in both categories by a desert mile, and that was all against a stout Ravens defense in a game the Cardinals trailed throughout. So now a few weeks into this Sans James Conner era, and at least until he returns, I agree that it seems firmly established. DiMercato is the lead back. You don't find those laying around on waivers all the time, so you need to add him. And he does get the Browns this coming week, and then Conner will likely be back at some point, hopefully soon, if you're a Conner manager. So I don't think DiMercato is the top guy, but he's pretty much a must roster, and I'm willing to roll him out there where you need running backs, which is basically everywhere in fantasy these days.
And speaking of a running back, kudos to you, Okada, because you've been talking up Chuba Hubbard longer than anyone. And I had thought that Miles Sanders would regain the role when he returned. He was back yesterday, and not doing a whole lot with it. It was Chuba Hubbard leading the Panthers backfield. So continue to talk up your guy.
Yeah, far from it for Sanders, unfortunately. And it was the first week back for him, but I mean, this looks like the Hubbard show. And it's kind of like with DeMarcado, his fantasy output didn't look great, 7.4 points. But I don't expect that to be the weekly box score for Hubbard moving forward. He seems to have pretty clearly ascended into the lead role in Carolina. Led the team with 17 touches, led the running back with 54 total yards. Everyone was inefficient, in fairness, but Hubbard was inefficient and involved, which is a good thing. Give me that guy, please and thank you. Listen, he averaged 1.9 yards per carry in this game. That's not going to happen over the course of the season. When that bumps up, and assuming he keeps this top dog opportunity, he will be averaging double-digit fantasy points rest of season. Is definitely a guy you want to have on your roster and in your lineup.
So Tank Dell got off to a really hot start this season, sort of cooled off. Then the Texans had a bye. They're back now, but it does feel like, Matt, like a lot of people between the slump and the bye probably dropped Tank Dell. So this feels like a reminder that he's still out there and available in a lot of leagues.
It is. It's a reminder of the fact that he's available, which he now is more than he was before, obviously, and also a reminder of how good he was. Because in this past week, again, like these two running backs we just talked about, the fantasy output didn't look incredible. 6 fantasy points on 7 opportunities. I'm largely willing to chalk that up into a recovery week. First week back, he'd missed the previous couple games. And you'll notice that I said opportunities rather than targets. That's because Dell was schemed into the run game, 3 carries for 15 yards. You love to see that. And his 4 targets, while that doesn't sound like a lot, was still nearly a 17% target share. But C.J. Stroud and the Texans just threw an unnaturally low 24 times in a slog fest with the Panthers. Prior to that game, Stroud was averaging 35 passes per game. And in Dell's 4 games prior to his injury, he was averaging 14.5 fantasy points. I expect all of this to trend back upwards moving forward, and I think he could be a hot commodity for playoff runs, so pick him up.
I'm going to give a humble brag for each of us. I've had Taysom Hill in the stardom sit-em the last couple of weeks. I know you've had him in the waiver wire column the last couple of weeks. Even with Jawan Johnson back this past week, it is still Taysom time in New Orleans.
Yeah, I don't know who knows this, but Taysom Hill is one of my favorite players in the NFL. I've been a truther since the days when everyone used to fall out of their armchairs with rage when Sean Payton would put him in over Drew Brees. You want to know why he did that and why it's happening now? Because almost every single time Taysom touches the ball, the result is a positive play, both for the Saints and for fantasy. Because here's a spoiler alert. Not knowing what an offense is going to do makes it much harder to stop said offense. Okay, so that's my Taysom Hill rant, but legitimately, I am excited to be able to recommend him as a strong waiver wire ad. 3 straight weeks of legitimate involvement. 51.6 fantasy points over the last 3 weeks. There is one tight end who has had more fantasy points over that span, and his name rhymes with Smavis Smelsy. So that's what we're dealing with Taysom Hill now. Pick him up and just pray that Dennis Allen and Pete Carmichael keep using him like they should.
I mean, and people are starting to point out the fact that his route running has gotten better. He's learning how to leverage defenders to get himself open. So that this feels like a happy learned how to putt moment for Taysom Hill in terms of him getting more opportunities. Speaking of tight ends, Trey McBride last year was drafted as the tight end of the future there in Arizona. And with Zach Ertz out, Matt, it looks like the future is now for McBride.
Yeah, it looks good too. If you're not brave enough to die on the hill with me and you want a more traditional tight end, Trey McBride is absolute your guy. 23 years old, took over for Zach Ertz this past week after the veteran landed on IR and was utterly dominant against the Ravens. Caught 10 of 14 targets, 95 yards and a touchdown. There have been 2 other games by a tight end with 10-plus catches and a touchdown this season. Travis Kelce in Week 5 and Travis Kelce in Week 7. So here's another Travis Kelce for you. You're welcome.
You know what's amazing about this, Matt, is that the Arizona Cardinals right now sort of looking up at everybody else in the NFC West. You got 3 guys. We just talked about 3 guys between Kyler Murray, Emari Demercado, and Trey McBride. Just kind of an amazing factoid there. Matt, we appreciate it. For everybody out there, go check him out on Twitter at Matt Okada, and you can check out the article at NFL.com/waiver wire. So there it is. That is our Week 8 wrap-up as we get ready to turn the page and head into Week 9. Hopefully, you get what you need to get your win this week. In the meantime, that is it. We are done. We appreciate you hanging out with the NFL Fantasy Football Show presented by Subway. You know the drill. Tell 2 friends to tell 2 friends. Rate, review, and remember, if you're looking to get beat up, dress as a piñata for Halloween. Be safe, take care of yourselves, and we'll talk to you again real soon.